Yo, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be watching the most spoiled Nepo babies ever. And this is a question that I would have to ask myself later in life, if when this YouTube stuff pops off and I'm just like a crossing that level, Mr. Beast level type of game money person, or just a person who made it off YouTube, like I'm a millionaire off YouTube. Would I spoil my kids if I have any with all that money? And real talk, uh, not really. I'm not gonna be that parent's gonna make their kid just at 5 years old like you can't have nothing for Christmas. Like if my kid's five on their birthday, if they want a birthday party, whatever they want for their birthday, they're probably gonna get it, you know. But when they're like, but I'm still going to teach them to say please, thank you, be like respectful, be smart with their money. But the whole taking it to the extreme of you can't have nothing nice because it's my money, not your money, that's weird to me.
Alright, so a while back I made a video called Top 10 Nepo Babies, and I only listed 3. And recently I was reading the comments of that video, and it turns out that I missed a lot of Nepo Babies that people wanted me to talk about.
Lance,
so I figured, why not make a
bad.
second one? Now, in case any of you watching this haven't seen that first video, or you just don't know what a Nepo Baby is, allow me to explain. Basically, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. A Nepo Baby is someone who was born into nepotism, okay? Their family is so rich and successful that they probably don't have to work a day in their life, and if they do, they're going to have a very easy way getting to a high position because of their family and connections.
And another thing I don't understand, why do people have a problem with that? Like, LeBron's kid didn't deserve to be in the NBA. Bro, why do you care? Everybody, like the other people who work hard, but he just got in because his dad is LeBron James. Bro, why can't we ever just be happy that people are in their kids' lives trying to help their kid do better in life? And it's not like I don't know a lot about Bronny James, but it's not like he's out here just flexing his LeBron James son. I'm pretty sure he changed his name to Bronny, or his nickname is Bronny, because he didn't want to be under his dad's shadow. So it's like, bro, if he had enough skill to get to the NBA, but the only reason everybody hates him is that he's LeBron's son and he doesn't deserve it. Like, who are you to decide if he deserves it or not? Like, he was good on all his teams. I'm pretty sure he's doing good in the G League or bench player section. But it's like, leave people alone.
And as of right now, the most popular example of this is LeBron James Jr., Bronny James. Despite the fact that he was a very lackluster college player, his dad is fucking LeBron James. So the Lakers took him in the second round of the NBA draft, and as of right now, a lot of people are calling him a Nepo baby, because if his last name wasn't James, he probably would not be in the NBA. By the way, Bronny James is a very talented basketball player who would cook me. I was just using him as an example, so please don't hate on me. Now, the reason I like talking about Nepo babies is because I find them very interesting, because, you know, everyone thinks it's easy to be one. You know, you have all the money and connections in the world, but at the same time, you also have very high expectations, okay? Take LeBron James' son, okay? He has all the genetics, all...
Facts. If that kid doesn't win 6 championships before he's 30, they're gonna call him a waste of... They gonna call him a failure. He can win 2 championships. He can be MVP both those times, but if he doesn't win 6, he's gonna be a failure because he didn't do what LeBron did.
The money to be one of the greatest basketball players in the world, and he went to USC, played Division I basketball. He's a very talented athlete. But people still undermine him because, you know, he's not as good as his dad. But even though he has that unrealistic standard and all that pressure on him, he's still not folding, okay? He's still in the NBA playing with LeBron James, okay? Now take Michael Jordan's son, for example, okay? You probably didn't even know he existed. And that's because he hasn't played basketball in like 5 years. But guess what? Okay, LeBron James' son was a D1 player. He started and averaged 12 points a game, all right? That is a very impressive athletic career, but guess what? No, everyone thinks he's a fucking loser because he's Michael Jordan's son, and Michael Jordan was so great. And he is a perfect example of folding to the pressure, because now...
I think the problem is that, like, LeBron and Michael Jordan weren't rich before they got into the NBA. So the hunger they have in their heart to be like the greatest, to train hard, to make it to that level is not something you can just pass down to your kid. You can give your kid the genetics, the training, the skill, but you can kind of give them that mindset. But they wake up to a pool in their backyard and a basketball court in the front yard, like a full basketball court in the front yard, and they get driven around by chauffeurs. The hunger isn't the same. Like the hunger of being in a two-story mansion with glass for windows for walls isn't the same as being in a one-bedroom apartment with your mom and only being able to have breakfast and dinner, no lunch, no snacks, because you can't afford it. The hunger's not there.
He's drunk driving, doing drugs, fucking crashing out, and that is my whole point, essentially. It is very interesting to see what path these Nepo babies go down. So with all that being said, in today's video, we're going to be looking at different types of Nepo babies, how they handled their unique situation, and ranking them based on what they did with it. So, yeah, with all that being said, let's dive into the actual video. But before we do that, dude, my back has been killing me. This chair absolutely sucks. You know what? I think it's time for an upgrade. Oh my god, that is so much better. Wait, hold on. New desk too? What? Hello? Today's video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. And amazing ass one. But dude, I would buy this as the East on the first my code.
I
He is
forgot
the
the
son
pop.
of Deion Sanders, one of the greatest cornerbacks in NFL history. Now the main reason
I just realized I forgot to pause. You know how this video, some of my videos would cut and then I start talking again? Or you would like see a clip of an ad that kind of just disappears and I'm back to the video. Yeah, I usually pause it, but I realized I only pause the video, not the actual recording. So if you just saw me staring off into space, mouth open, my fault.
reason I
I'm
want to
not
talk
gonna cut
about
it
this
out.
guy in particular is because he is a perfect example of the third archetype when it comes to Nepo babies. Usually, when a very well-known and successful athlete has a son, that kid is set to very high expectations. And usually, the child of the athlete either succumbs to the pressure and doesn't live up to his expectations, or they embrace it and possibly become better than their father. But like I said before, usually when it comes to Nepo babies like this, there's actually a third outcome. We already talked about the winner, we already talked about the loser, now it's time to talk about what I like to call the celebrity. And Shador Sanders is a perfect example. Basically, the celebrity is when a Nepo baby of a very popular and famous athlete actually finds his own success and creates his own path. So not only is he going viral and becoming famous for being good at his sport, it's also
Oh, which one? If I had a kid, I genuinely want my kid to do better than me in life. I'm not gonna be one of those parents where it's like I'm gonna push my kid to do anything in particular. No, I'm not gonna tell my kid like if I'm successful when I'm successful off YouTube. I'm not gonna tell my kid like you have to continue the empire, you have to continue the family business on being on YouTube and being a success too. Not like I want you to do better than me in life. Whatever that means. Get more girls than me, have more fun in your life, see more places than me. Like, bro, I don't need you to be me 2.0 advanced updated model. I just need you to do better than me in life because it or the same. If I'm a millionaire and you end up being a millionaire, cool. If even better, if I'm a millionaire, you become a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, you know. But if you do like, and I'm just talking about money wise, if he's happy, if my kid, girl or boy, happy with their life, if they don't want to be a millionaire, they just want to work a regular job, take care of their family that way. I ain't never gonna tell another person how to live their life. You know, even if you're my kid, if you're 20 and you don't want to do YouTube and you want to go to school to be a artist, or do music, that no. But if you want to be like an economist or data analyst or something just regular, I don't care. But art's where I draw the line because like you're setting yourself up to fail.
Being emphasized by the fact that he is the son of a very famous athlete. And because of all of these factors combined, they're getting a lot more clout and media attention compared to other athletes who are just as good as them. But remember, okay, these guys are actually good. They are performing. They deserve all of this fame. And on top of that, they were born into a rich family. Okay, they've been famous since they were 15. These guys have essentially made it. They are already living the life of a professional athlete, but they're just not in the league yet. Now take everything I just said and apply it to your own life, okay? How do you think that would affect your ego? And if you didn't say it would make you hella cocky.
Oh, bro, if I already have an ego as I am now with like 50 subscribers on this channel and just 273 on my other ones, if I was born rich and I was a good athlete, ego through the roof, I would be insufferable. I ain't gonna hold you.
You're fucking lying. Okay, simple as that. It is human nature to let all of that kind of stuff inflate your personal ego, and having social status and wealth at a very young age is a recipe for cockiness. And right now, we are seeing exactly what I'm talking about in real time with Shedeur Sanders. Like I said before, not only is his father one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time, Shedeur Sanders has been one of the greatest high school quarterbacks of all time. And the media coverage this motherfucker had was absolutely insane. Not only would like every single sports outlet post this guy for literally breathing, but he even had his own reality TV show. Okay, the motherfucker had his own Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Then fast forward to his college career, he ignored all of his big offers to go to Jackson State so he could play under, you guessed it, his fucking father. Then his father got a better coaching position at CU Boulder, so he transferred with like half of his team, and they pretty much just ransacked the Boulder football roster and like half of them transferred. Meanwhile, Deion Sanders is making it abundantly clear that he has a say in what happens to his son's football career. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is busy driving his Rolls Royce around campus, racking up parking tickets he knows he doesn't have to worry about, and acting like a fucking celebrity. By the way, he is still good at football. Like, he is playing and performing. But either way, the reason I am saying all of this is to show you guys that Shedeur Sanders has always gotten anything he's ever wanted. Obviously, that's a very blanket statement, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. He's good at sports, his family is rich, he's basically a celebrity. For lack of a better term, he's fucking spoiled. And you can see this in the way that he behaves and acts, and has gotten a lot of hate on social media for this exact behavior. And on top of that, his dad is like the LeVar Ball of football, and has made it abundantly clear to teams that if you draft his son, you're gonna have to deal with him. So now, combine the crazy rapper personality that Shedeur Sanders has, and combine it with the fact that he is a literal drone of a father constantly hovering over him, who has made sure his son gets.
To be honest, I don't see a problem with this because like, I would believe if someone's good at something, not they'd have to be like a complete jerk or a complete meathead about it. But if you have an ego and you're good at your sport, you're actually performing. It's like you deserve you deserve to flex a little bit. You know, you deserve a little bit of an ego because like it's not like it's getting in the way. If you're still performing, you're still one of the best athletes in the world, or best athletes at your sport. It's like, you know, you should be able to flex once in a while.
Gets anything he ever has wanted. How do you think NFL teams are gonna see that? I'll give you a hint, not fucking good. According to multiple NFL mock drafts, Shedeur Sanders was supposed to go in the top 5. Okay, the top 5 picks in the entire NFL draft. But instead, he wasn't even picked in the first round, or the second round, or the third round, or the fourth. Shedeur Sanders was selected by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft with the 144th overall pick. Keep in mind, he was supposed to go top 5, but the story doesn't end there. As a matter of fact, it's just getting started. Because this is like the first ever time Shedeur Sanders has actually faced some sort of hardship in his life, a lot of people on social media found it funny because of his like persona on the internet. As a matter of fact, people found it so funny that the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons' son prank called him and fake drafted him.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
This is the guy who made the prank call, by the way, and the phone number that you call to draft an NFL player is very confidential information. You know, obviously only teams have that shit. So the fact that some random college student just got it and fucking like prank called him is crazy. And of course this only happens to Shedeur Sanders. I can guarantee you, if he wasn't a fucking like celebrity, literally, he wouldn't have this wouldn't have happened to him. You can actually see it in the phone call when the guy calls him up. He's like, "I've been waiting on you, motherfucker. You're getting drafted 4 rounds late, and you're acting like what? Come on now, that's crazy." And that's basically my whole point.
But again, if it's like he's good at his sport, like I don't know anything about it. I'm just going off what he said. But if he's good at his sport, it's kind of like, yeah. If the only reason he didn't get drafted is because he has a big old ego, I can see that. I can see how that would be like a problem for a coach. Like you try to tell him to do this, but he doesn't want to do it because he thinks he's too good. Then, then yeah. But it's like if he's a good player, it's like why are you not now? Look at it now. What if he just automatically performs? He just becomes one of the best on his team. Like he goes to the Super Bowl this year, and then you just look foolish because you didn't want to like try to tame the lion. That's how I'm thinking about it.
Hockey and he's spoiled and has had everything handed to him. So he has like this sort of like celebrity personality that NFL players don't really attain up until they're drafted and adults that can handle that fame and money. But because he had it at such a young age, he doesn't know how to handle it. And now he's acting like all this and getting a bunch of hate and getting fake drafted and prank called. So yeah, that is the celebrity. When your ego just fucking over, you're good at what you do. You're not a failure, but you're not like humble about it. You act as if you're the guy. And I mean, you might be the guy. Don't get me wrong, but it's like no one likes when you act like it. You have to naturally be the guy. So yeah. First up on the list, Shedeur Sanders, the celebrity Nepo baby. Another notable example of this are the Ball brothers, but mainly LaMelo. You know, Lonzo is pretty low-key. I think he's doing a great job handling his fame. And then LiAngelo just kind of fucking sucked. He became a rapper. Good, his music pretty. His music.
Hold on, take last week in there. Go. I heard that she on the show. Oh, me should be on. Trying to tell me some more. Yeah, I like Tweaker.
Yeah. LaMelo Ball though, that motherfucker plays like street ball, and he still drops like 30, and he just kind of gives this like rapper personality as well that people don't really fuck with. So either way, yeah, that is the first person on the list, Shedeur Sanders. Alright, so a quick little disclaimer before this next part. This is about an F1 driver who I had no idea existed before I made this video, so please bear with me as I try and give you guys the right information. But either way, with
Great.
all that being said, I would like you guys all to meet Lance Stroll, okay? The Nepo baby of all Nepo babies. And the reason that I call him that is because for those of you who don't know, Lance Stroll is a very notorious Formula 1 driver. And F1 is quite literally the most expensive sport in the entire world. And when I say that, I don't mean actual F1, okay? Most F1 drivers start with like professional go-karting, okay? And that hobby already is insanely expensive. And basically what I'm trying to say is that when you watch an
Wait a second. Professional go-kart ain't it a sport? No, that's kind of tough. I want to do that.
All of those drivers, none of them got it out the mud, okay? Most likely they're all from pretty wealthy families, and some of them could probably be considered Nepo babies themselves. But then you got motherfuckers like Lance Stroll, who somehow managed to out-Nepo baby all the other Nepo babies.
Damn, what do you do?
In case you guys didn't know, Lance Stroll's father is Lawrence Stroll, the owner of Aston Martin. And guess what fucking team Lance Stroll raced?
Oh, he got paper. Oh, he got that money. He got the fancy car money. Aston Martin, I didn't tell. Oh, we got that money. I see it.
If you still don't believe me, being a racer on an F1 team is very exclusive, okay? They usually only have 2 to 3 drivers on a team. And at the moment, Aston Martin currently has about 3 active drivers, so I thought, why not introduce ourselves to them? First up, we got Sebastian Vettel, okay? A 4-time world champion and a former F1 prodigy. Not only has he been racing for almost 20 years, when he won the world champion back in 2010, he was the youngest F1 driver to ever do so. Then you got Fernando Alonso, a seasoned veteran who races aggressively and is known for his crazy
Francesco Bernoulli. Oh no, he said Fernando. Dang, if he said Francesco, man, that would have been such a layup.
Comebacks. And then, last but not least, you got Lance Stroll, who's known for being Lawrence Stroll's son. He also gets into a lot of crazy crashes and really just has no reason to be on an F1 team other than the fact that his dad pays for it. Like, the entire
Yeah, that's like the worst part about like nepotism, when you're so like, when as a parent you're so money centric that you can't see that your kid sucks. You know, like Ronaldo Messi, or like he has a kid, right? If the kid is average or garbage at soccer, he would probably, I don't know, I'm just guessing, he would probably try to get his son on a team and get him a cool contract for like 20, 30, or a couple $1 million. But he would be such a bad player. He'd be on the bench all the time. He'd probably be the water boy. That's the crazy part of like, you have to know what your kid is good at. You can't just use your money and influence to get them what they want. Like, because he could want to be an F1 driver, but if he's garbage and he's not going to put in the work to accomplish that goal, it's like you're wasting your money, wasting their money, you're wasting everybody's time. He should just go like drive Uber if he wants to drive so much. Like, you know,
F1 community fucking hates this guy. Okay, if you're an F1 fan, you most likely do not like Lance Stroll because he's seen as a paid driver. Because it's a very respectable position, right? It's like I said before, it's absurdly exclusive. There's only about 2 drivers per team, and hundreds and thousands of people are trying to be F1 drivers. So, like, you know, when it comes to other Nepo babies like celebrities, actors, and athletes, it's like, you know, they might be getting more attention than someone who's better than them, but it's like, there's plenty of spots, you know? People can still make it with them. But then you got people like Lance Stroll, who's taking like 1 of 2 fucking spots on a driving team. Like, just because his dad wants to pay for it, like, hello? And that is why Lance Stroll is on.
see, this whole time he's been talking about this person, but I need a visual representation because if his name is Lance, uh, oh, oh yeah, I see it. I understand it. Oh
On
yeah.
this list, okay, not only is he participating in the most Nepo baby sport in the world, Formula One, he out-nepotism them by having his dad buy the fucking team, and on top of that, it's a very exclusive sport, and he's taking the seat away from other very talented and hungry drivers who deserve that spot. Obviously, this motherfucker deserves to be on this list. So, yeah, number 2, Lance Stroll, the most Nepo baby to ever fucking Nepo baby. Alright, so when it comes to
Yeah, you can't. Damn, you can't like give your kid everything they want if they're not even good at the sport. Giving them everything they want and they're good and they practice their sport. Sure, I don't believe like you should just give your kid whatever they want because like they have to at least work for something in life. They get driven around by chauffeurs in Aston Martin trucks, and they probably gonna get a Ferrari for their birthday. So like when it comes to sports, that's like the one thing on earth where it's like your kid should actually have to work for it. Even if you're like successful in that sport and like people just know your name, if your kid's in that same sport, they're never gonna be able to outrun their last name or you. But at the end of the day, you have to let them create their own path. They can't just like cheat their way, like money wise, into being in the sport. You can't just pay off a team to let your kid join the NBA if they're not even like an NBA level athlete.
to my final thoughts, originally I was gonna say Shador Sanders is worse than Lance Stroll, mainly because I just don't like Shador Sanders. But I think Lance Stroll definitely deserves to be hated more. Not because he had it easier or anything, but mainly because the sport he's in and how exclusive he is. He really is taking away a lot of opportunities for other people. You know, like Shador Sanders, like there's like what, like 4 or 5 quarterbacks on an NFL team, 4 or 5, like there's like 8 quarterbacks on a college team. You know, high school teams is like 4. It's like yeah, he's a Nepo baby, but he's also good. And Lance Stroll, I'd say Shador Sanders is better at football than Lance Stroll is at F1 driving. You know, so yeah, not only is Lance Stroll just a pure Nepo baby, but he's also just taking away opportunities. And, you know, Shador Sanders, he's just fucking annoying. He's just cocky. So, yeah. But either way, guys, I think that is going to be the video. Moral of the...
At the end of the day, life is going life. Even if you're not rich, try hard, will you make it? hopefully. And if you are rich and you want your kid to be as successful as you, let them work for what they want. Don't don't try and force your kid to be in the NBA if he wants to do ballet. You know, let a kid do what he want to do when it comes to sports. But all that being said,